In this video, I'm going to talk about the Rockets' thrilling win over the Pelicans in a nail-biting close game where we got to see a lot. I mean, Fred VanVleet, Alperen Sengun, Jeff Green, Dylan Brooks, Jalen, everybody came through. The culture is changing in Houston. Find out why I think so right now. The Rockets Chop Shop is your one-stop shop for all your basketball needs, for highlights, analysis, podcasts. We do it all here at the Rockets Chop Shop. Make sure you hit the like button on the videos that you watch if you enjoy them. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications from all the great drops that we have on the channel. Also, you can visit the Chop Shop merch store and get you some of the swaggiest gear in the Houston Rockets kingdom. And if you want, you can always support the channel directly through donations. And if you want, you can support us through our partnerships with our sponsors. The Rockets Chop Shop is made by fans, for fans, and we're going to keep rocking and keep dropping that heat.
This is something I know.
We gave effort. It's not like we didn't give effort. He made some really tough shots. But we need everybody to give effort on the defensive end.
Is that why Alpy didn't play for the last quarter or so? Were you concerned with, how he would do defensively?
Yeah, I mean, they went at him with every pick and roll, every single one. You can't. Yes.
Just going back to those hustle plays there. Alpy's defense was never his best part of his game, and the extra effort plays like that. For him, on a game where he was hurting, I assume, and scoring, to make that play, what does that say about his growth?
Yeah, it shows his buy-in. He's been getting better all year, game by game. And like I said, to play through it, he could have, made an excuse and not. But he said, if I'm going to play my minutes and play hard and continue to build off of what he's been doing. And so, we love that side and the growth he's showing on the defensive end, let alone the hustle plays. But, he's a gifted offensive guy that's bought in on that end, and it's made a huge difference for our team.
The Rockets are down 5 points with 1 minute and 39 seconds to go. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind as we go forward with these sequence of events. Off rip, want to point out how important it was for Coach Udoka to leave Alperen Sengun in the game. You got to let him sink or swim in these types of moments. We go into this action with the Pelicans. They want to get Zion the ball or BI the ball, either of them. The purpose of this play, you're going to see that Zion is getting a screen backside here. He's going to come off that screen. They run this play a lot. They were running this action to get Zion curling to the basket on the entry pass from the 5 at the top of the key, and he would attack, and you see Jalen Green there is going to be a mismatch. So this is the play that they really go to destroy teams. They're up 5. Just look at Alperen Sengun, quick hands. Like this, look at this, bro. You can't tell me this guy doesn't want it. On the bum ankle, laying out, belly flop style, diving for the ball, bro. That's championship material right there. That's heart. That's heart. Runs back to recover on the play. Zion gets the ball, tips the ball. Awareness. Heart of a champion. Look at this. Runs back after, I don't know. Okay, guys, I used to play football. We had these things called mat drills, right? Most of y'all that play football in high school, college, whatever level. Mat drills. I don't think they do it in an NFL. But mat drills are these drills where you basically learn how to get up off the floor from different positions, like you're belly flopping, you're rolling, you're tumbling. The purpose of it is to teach you not to stay on the ground and be able to bounce off when you fall down. Because when you stay on the ground, your opponent can then beat you. So for Sengun to flop on the floor like he did, diving for a loose ball, which like I said, if you've done those mat drills, diving on your stomach takes the air out of you. The energy you need to get back up and run, it takes a lot of just effort and just heart. And then to jump up and get this tip pass, I mean, that's a game-changing play, bro. Tip pass, but this sequence of events is so special. You get Fred VanVleet pull-up special in transition, which is his bread and butter. Misses the shot, gets his own rebound, kicks it out to DB, who then attacks Zion for a handoff to Fred in the corner, then instinctively sets a screen for BI, and then the corner jumper that's just set the whole Toyota Center on fire, bro. That's big. That was game swinging. So we clawing back. Pick up Dyson Daniels at full court. Pick him up. Hound him. He's not comfortable right now. He doesn't know what he wants to do. He doesn't know what he's razzled. Fred picked him up at full court. Forces a bad pass off of that. That started with Fred's defense. DB takes advantage of that, runs, and he's going to get his shot. Zion with the LeBron. And then, we go into another situation here. Once again, 2-point game. 2-point game, brother. Championship mentality. That is the word of this video. Championship mentality. You got to get the entry pass in, get it into Jalen Green, gives it to Fred. Fred is going to get the offense set. 50 seconds left. Fred is cool, calm, and collective. You get a screen here, high screen from Jeff Green. Zion is appropriately at the 3-point line because he doesn't believe Fred VanVleet is going to take the shot. You have the options here of double drags with Alperen Sengun. If you want to go into a short roll game with him, you can do that. But I like the high screen. But this is where Fred VanVleet makes his bones, bro. Look where he's pulling up from. That's about, 6 feet behind the 3-point line? 4 or 5 feet behind the 3-point line? He's pulling up from that area. And I'm telling you right now, there's not 1 ounce of anxiety or nervousness about this man at this moment because he's a champion. We've seen Fred play at the highest of highs. This is what you're paying for. Do y'all think Jalen Green, he probably could have hit the shot. Maybe Kevin Porter could have hit this shot. But for the preceding defense to even get to the moment where you can take a shot to win the game for your team, because this is a dagger right here. This is what you're paying for. Cool, calm, and collective. Dagger. That's the backbreaker. Curtains. Look at Toyota, bro. Look at the energy. Curtains. This is curtains, confidence, swagger. It's real. Look at Jalen soaking it up, sitting by his vet, learning. High screen, pull up right in that pocket. Zion kind of being lazy here. You got to close out. And I'm going to show y'all a play, the difference between the want to and just saying you're going to do it. That little arm ain't going to cut it, Zion. Yeah, that's buckets. Big game. Look at how hype everybody is, bro. Look at Sengun. Look at Jalen. Look at these kids are soaking this up. Look how attentive everybody is in the huddle. You got guys that ain't even played trying to get their heads in, bro. Look at a man back there trying to, bro, you ain't played a minute. You in street clothes. This is different, culture changing. All right, job's not done. 1-point game. Pelicans got to get the entry pass in. Brought in Tari for defensive purposes. He can guard the ball. Also offers some rebounding in place of Jalen Green. All right, BI and DB. They're going to go high screen and roll, try to attack the pick and roll. Sengun does a great job staying. This is a perfect drop, almost an aggressive drop where he's at the level of the screen. Knowing BI is in Steph Curry. At the same time, there's no gaps between him. He's keeping the roll man in front of him. Dylan Brooks, one of the best screen navigators. Y'all saw my last video detailing that in the pick and roll, guys are shooting an abysmal 32 or something %. Stayed attached. Now, here is a opportunity for error that they both had. Because the way BI was able to pull his dribble out, it kind of confused whether they wanted to switch this or whether Dylan Brooks should have stayed on. So there was a moment of confusion here. But here's the difference between Zion's effort and like a guy like Dylan Brooks. Contest. Secure the rebound. Big rebound. That's effort, bro. Championship plays. Fred is going to slow it down. Once again, championship material. No panic. He's not over dribbling like we've seen in the past. He's not going to get, lost in the sauce and try to rush up a shot. 22 seconds, 1-point game. He knows what he wants. Organizing the offense. Calls for that screen. Same thing. He saw the action he wants. He's going to attack a weak defender. That's why he called for that screen. He doesn't want Dyson Daniels. Dyson's a good defender as a young guy. Fred always constantly thinking. Attack the weak defender. Foul. He's going to make both of those free throws. Champion. Ice cold. Just the guy that you want on your team, bro. Anybody that watches stats and you're a stat watcher and that's all you do, bro, you don't know hoops, dog. I'm not even going to hold you because you can't watch these games and go look at a dude's shooting percentage and be like, oh, man, he played bad. Man, I don't care if a guy misses every shot in the game as long as he shows up when it counts. All right, inbounds play here. The Rockets know what the Pelicans want to do. They want to go to Brandon Ingram in this play. This is where they want to go. B.I. Sengun doubles in with Tari, then peels over, off to help. This is just high IQ defense by Alperen Sengun. Doesn't stay on the double, goes right to his assignment after the double is done. Once again, Tari Eason on B.I. I like that matchup. He's going to stay on him. Everything is sewed up. They trying so many actions that the Rockets are picking up. I'm going to point them out. Okay, first action, they're going to try to get Matt Ryan running off, almost an Iverson cut here, to try to get a shot here. Fred gets skinny, is able to eat that up. Alperen Sengun is also there to deflect any passes, kind of blocks off the pass. You see B.I. wants to make this pass. Destroyed. That action is done. Okay, now you get into your secondary stuff. Okay, he's going to try to come across. Nothing's there. Okay, let's go to a high screen and roll. Okay. Look at this contest by Alperen Sengun, bro. Without fouling. That's a damn near one of those things where the coaches holds with the arms on them. He got to shoot over that to hit this game winner. I thought he was going to hit a dagger on us because, he's been dropping shots all night. But look at this contest. That's tough, brother. That's game-winning plays. Game-winning plays. The Rockets, got to secure. I don't know where the foul was. Refs was tripping, but game-winning plays. I just want you guys to just be able to see how the culture is changing. Like, this was a hell of a game. Hell of a game. What a difference a season makes. What a difference a season makes. And, I wanted to start off first breaking down the game, and what a thrilling game. Y'all got to see how impactful all of our players were and the little nuances of the things that led to the win. Specifically, I'm going to focus real quick on Alperen Sengun. And one of the things I tweeted last night after watching the game was, Coach trusts him to close out the game. That is big. That is big. That Alperen Sengun, a player who we know has all the offensive talent in the world, and I'll talk about him when I do look at each player's performance. We know he has all the offensive talent in the world. What people want to see is whether he can play defense. And you guys have watched my videos. You've known that I was like, I can't tell. I know he has high IQ, but how bad our team defense was last year and the schemes we ran, like playing the drop, as we saw what Dame Lillard did to us in the drop coverage, and we never adjusted to switch the defense up. It's hard to assess that. But once again, I was like, he has IQ. And just like Coach Udoka said about him, with guys like him that can have IQ offensively and a little bit of athleticism and aren't like a small player. He's not undersized as far as in the NBA. He might not be the biggest center in the world, but the kid is strong. He should be a decent defender. And the only way you can find that out is by putting him in these situations where he has to sink or swim, right? Throwing him out in the waters to sink or swim to find out whether this is the player that you want to keep going forward and this is a player that you want to invest in going forward. And games like this against the Pelicans, playoff atmosphere, close game with multiple types of players that are theoretically mismatches for him. B.I. is a theoretical mismatch for Alperen Sengun. Zion is a theoretical mismatch for Alperen Sengun. But theoretical is what gets you fired as a coach. Theoretical is what Steven Silas did. Theoretical is what Ime Udoka did against, I forgot what team, where he took, I think it was the Spurs, Alperen out and then had to bring him in later. But once again, when he did it, I understood why earlier in the season, because you have to assess what your team can do. you have to assess what the team can do. And when he took Alperen out in the game, I think it was the Spurs game, might have been the Spurs game. In that stretch of that game, our offense tanked. So you have to weigh the balances of your theoretical assumptions about a player's weaknesses versus what they actually do on the court. And a lot of coaches would have had theoretical lineups that featured players like Jabari Smith out there to close out the game. But Coach Udoka is not a theorist. He's not a philosopher. He's a pragmatist. That's what I love about him. He's pragmatic. You know, he does what needs to be done in the situation as it calls for it. And he's unapologetic about that. And that's what you want in a leader. You want somebody that is unbiased, unapologetic, and pragmatic. Because theoretical, once again, will get you fired. Theoretical helps you lose games. So he made the adjustment to sit Jabari Smith Jr. down, who was not having his best game. He was playing with a lot of effort. That's all you can ask for the young guys. But when they ain't feeling it, sit them. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Sit them. And that he did. He sat him down. Jabari was watching the game from the sidelines and left in Alperen Sengun with the other starters in place of Jeff Green, who played hella defense on Zion. Jeff Green has been so huge, a huge pickup for us. But that move not only won them the game, but you also got data on Alperen Sengun, who you could possibly see, okay, if he can do this in this game, he can guard Steph Curry in a close game. He can know his assignments. He can play that type of defense, getting deflections, use his IQ. Maybe he can do it in the playoffs. Maybe he can do it when it counts. You know why that's important, guys? You got to pay these kids, man. They up for contracts. All of these games give you a little bit of data to make an informed decision about this team. And the way Coach Udoka is pushing the right buttons, and even though he gave Alpi a compliment during that press conference, he didn't really just give him too much. He didn't like, oh, he's the best player. I like that because you don't want guys to get big heads, especially young kids. You got to keep them humble. And he does that. You got to keep them humble. When they're bad, take them out the game. Give them an earful. Sit them down. Let them watch. Watch somebody else do it. Watch Jeff Green do it better than you. Next time you get in there, Jabari, do it better. You feel me? Watch somebody else do it better than you. Next time you get your opportunity, you do it better. And that's how young guys grow and learn. I wish Jabari had this experience his rookie year. He'd be a much better player right now. But luckily for him, he's getting it now. And this type of tough love is what players need to peak. Because on bad teams with no accountability, with players that come in with deficiencies in parts of their games, when they're not held accountable to improve, when they're not pushed to be better, they fail in their NBA careers. And luckily for us, we have a great coach that can push all the right buttons. Okay, so let's check out some of the player stats from this game. The first player is going to be Jalen Green with a sneaky 25 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 18 field goal attempts. Jalen went to the free throw line 10 times. That's all I need to know about the type of game he had. Anytime I see that free throw attempt up that high, Jalen had a good game. He was a -1 on the floor, which is actually a positive for our starters. Most of our starters, except Dylan Brooks, was in the negative. Jalen had a good game for me. He didn't shoot very efficiently, 39% from the field, 25% from 3, but the aggression is what matters. And one thing I love about what Jalen did, he was being aggressive late in the game. He was driving into the paint late in the game, forcing the issue late in the game. He is learning from game to game. Once you guys know my philosophy, I do not care about a player's just raw stats unless it's just something egregious like 1 for 15 or something like that. And even then, I got to watch the game to know how that player actually played. Because if you go 1 for 15, you're missing shots, but you're getting to the free throw line. You're forcing the issue. You keep driving. You're getting open shots for teammates. You're getting another team in foul trouble. You're playing good defense. Then, yeah, you had a good game, bro. Sometimes in the NBA, shots don't drop. You know what I mean? It's a make or miss league. You guys hear that term. It's very cliche, but it's true. It's a make or miss league. And it was make or miss night for Jalen. But I love how he played last night. The defense on and off ball is definitely improving day by day. He's learning to ride that bike. You can see him kind of finding his zone. And I love how Coach Udoka is using him on the second lineups to be kind of the initiator and the shot creator within that. He does have a lot of things he needs to develop within his game to be able to take advantage of the things that he needs to do when Sengun isn't on the court screening for him. I notice he struggles a bit, but I can see the progression in his game. So good game from Jalen. He was instrumental down the stretch, and yeah, he played like he was supposed to. And I just know that he's learning so much from these experiences. For Jabari, he had not his best game. Y'all know I keep it gully on the channel. Jabari did not have his best game against the Pelicans. BI was attacking him. Zion was attacking him. He was not, the foot speed wasn't good enough for Brandon Ingram. The strength wasn't good enough for Zion. Coach Udoka made the right move benching him. I mean, that's the thing you got to do. Like I said earlier, he just has to be better. And the way you do that is by challenging him. He has to see other players do it and then translate that into real time. Once again, learning experience. I think Jabari is basically getting his rookie experience right now. I think last year he played way too many minutes. This year he's getting his rookie experience, and he's going to look to me like a rookie, which is going to be some games he's going to look great, some games he's going to be terrible. But that's the mark of a young player's inconsistency. What you want to see are the highs. Last game he had a high. He flashed. He flashed on defense and offense. This game he had a lull. That's okay. We just want to stack more good games than bad games. He was a -8 on the court. Once again, one thing you love about all of our players is that they play with effort. And Jabari has never been one to lack for effort. And that's all he got to keep doing. He's going to get better. This is the worst Jabari is going to be. So the ups and downs are going to be there, just like with our team. The ups and downs are going to be there. But, he played bad. Coach basically showed him by benching him, and I expect him to respond better in the next game. So Dillon Brooks was a starting 5 and a team high +13 in the game. Once again, if you guys remember when I was giving out my pre-awards on the 5-game sample size, Alperen Sengun is our team MVP because without him, our offense goes off the map, and he is in all our great lineups. He's our MVP. Dillon Brooks for that starting 5 is the stabilizer. He is the starting 5 MVP, right? He's the most important player in our starting 5 because he makes it go. Without his flanking Fred VanVleet or Tate or whoever the other elite defender there, nothing works because then you only have one side of the court being guarded. Him adjacent to any plus defender is locked down. And that's why you got the clamp symbol above him there. But +13, he's the king of the plus minus for this game. 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, only took 7 shots, 42% from the field. From the 3-point line, 100%, only took 1 shot. He had a very weird game because he missed a lot of the game due to the foul trouble. The refs were tripping in this game. A lot of those fouls were kind of like just weird. Like they were calling the game hard, but at the same time, they were giving kind of tic-tac fouls, little knick-knack fouls. But DB is the man. When you can guard Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram and a guard and get posted by a center and give resistance, bro, like he should be in conversations for Defensive Player of the Year. Early conversation. If the Rockets, to me, in my opinion, sustain a top 10 defense and we can creep up to the top 6, top 7 defense with what Dillon Brooks is doing to players in the NBA, both big and small, fat and skinny, tall and short, is nothing short of amazing. He is just a versatile defender, man. He can do it from anywhere. He can guard any position. He had Zion dribbling off his feet, falling, tripping, turning the ball over. Had BI just uncomfortable, getting frustrated. Dillon is the man. And once he's in the game, like you just feel everything just stabilize. The same thing with Fred VanVleet. These vets we got are really showing the impact. And yeah, I mean, definitely him playing through that fourth quarter with 5 fouls, huge. The amount of, just awareness to be able to have 5 fouls and still guard aggressively. That is playoff stuff. And that's stuff that we're going to need to win these games. Alperen Sengun versus the Pelicans, 24 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists on 15 shots, 73% from the field, a -3, which is great for the minutes he played with the starters because our starters for the most of the game were losing. And yeah, man, what can I say? You heard what I said in the breakdown. Alperen is just shocking me every single game. He is getting better and better, and I don't think there's anyone that would have assumed that he would be this impactful on the defensive end of the court this early on this season. Definitely knew he was able to, play with IQ, play with leverage, play with strength, but Valanciunas couldn't move him. I don't know what strength training he did over the summer, but Valanciunas couldn't move him, bro. Valanciunas is one of the strongest players in the NBA. That dude is a mountain of a man, and he was trying to post up Alp and couldn't move him. Bro did not budge to the point where Valanciunas had to throw an elbow and hook Alp and get a foul to move him. Alperen Sengun is one of the best post defenders in the NBA right now. That is facts. Also, that pick and roll big guarding, one of the best in the NBA right now. That is facts. And when you get to the other aspects of his game, his awareness of his movement in space, positioning, body positioning, being able to be in the right spots, his hand speed, at 21 years old, the sky's the limit, bro. He can be a better defender than Nikola Jokic. And if he's a Jokic light on the offensive end, if he's Jokic light, because I don't think he's ever going to be like that great of a shooter. Nikola Jokic is a generational shooter as a big man. I don't think Alperen Sengun is a generational shooter. I think he's a generational post player, but shooter, no. But defender, you can crawl up a couple of ranks on that Jokic scale if you're going to play defense like that and be that aware and be that mobile on your feet. And I think that, what he's just showing for all the people who get on here and say, oh, man, you're just hyping up Alp. If you can't watch these games and take away that this kid is special and you're going to get in the comments of the Chop Shop hating, bro, I don't know what to tell you. You might just be a hater. But he's a baller. And for his class of players, Jalen better pick it up, bruh. Jalen better pick it up. If Alperen Sengun makes an all-star team this year and you're hearing it from multiple external media outlets, from haters like Bill Simmons, you know what I mean? From all these, I've heard about 3 or 4 national podcasts say Alperen Sengun is playing like an all-star. If this is what you're going to be getting from him, if he somehow makes an all-star team this year, that rookie max extension, that designated, now the Rockets can give it to 2 players. I don't know, man. We'll see. It's still early. Let me not get ahead of myself. It's still early, but I don't know, man. Once again, the mark of a good player in the NBA is, can you do what you say you're going to do on a night-to-night basis? Can you clock in with your hard hat and go to work and put in the same work you're going to put in every single night and go home, wake up, come back to work, do it again? He's doing it. He's doing it. So I guess that means he's a good player. But great game from him. Great game from him. Really proud of that kid to be able to be in there the whole game, and proud of Coach Udoka for trusting him to do that. Sink or swim. He's swimming. He's backpedaling, back doing all the tricks, doing flips, everything. He's swimming. So shout out to Alp for that. Last but not least, Fred VanVleet. Fred started off the game tripping, missing a lot of shots, doing the stuff which I told him not to do. Bro, stop taking those weird layups. That's not your game. Hit those middies, more middies, Fred. But Fred showed you the heart of a champion. Fred VanVleet is a champion. He's played basketball on the highest stage imaginable against a dynasty. He's hit big shots on the highest stage imaginable against Hall of Famers. So what is a November 10th game in Houston, Texas against the New Orleans Pelicans mean to Fred VanVleet? Absolutely nothing. Just another win. Just another win. Another Friday in November. Probably go home, play with his kids, go to bed. Just another win. That's what you're paying for. That's what you're paying for. 20 points, most of it scored in the fourth, 3 rebounds, 8 assists. Has had, I think every game this season, he's had more than 8 assists, or it's like 5 games in a row or something. 15 field goal attempts, stepped up when need be. Like I told y'all, Fred is a void filler. If somebody gets it going, he's okay filling that void of being a facilitator where that other player can get off, do what they got to do. When the moment calls for him and Dylan to do what they got to do, that's when he steps up. That is the perfect veteran for a young team trying to transition with young players into winning. Shot 46% from the field, 44% from 3. The game, the defense, the ball pressure, he just does so many winning plays that you cannot quantify by looking at stats. If y'all are going to watch my podcast, by the end of this season, y'all might not even care about stats anymore. When we get into when we do our post-game lives and we're chatting about what players play bad, if you are a Chop Shop member, if you are a Chop Shop subscriber, if you're a listener of our content, your discourse will elevate. The level of basketball knowledge will elevate, and we'll start having real conversations. Not about, oh, he shot 30% from the field. How about that screen navigation? What about that ball pressure? What was the screen level for that big? Was he up on the screen? Was he down playing the drop? What was the help side defense? Were they digging on the post when the post player started, trying to initiate the play? You know what I mean? Were players being aggressive? Just different things. Were they attacking the paint? Were they driving and kicking? Were they helping the helper? Were they making hockey assists? Like, let's have elevated discourse about the game. Fred VanVleet is an elevated player. This is a guy that coaches can look at and trust. And I'm going to, the way I look at the game is how coaches look at the game. And Fred is impact, man. This dude is worth every penny of what he's doing. He has done more for this team than anybody on that court in this season so far. You can watch the games where he's yelling at the guys. He's telling them where to be. And it wasn't it felt like an overtime game. Close in the fourth quarter, he's getting the team set, calming everybody down. He is Coach Udoka's avatar on the court, man. And the dude just makes some big shots. Those threes he hit, I could feel the energy in Toyota through the screen. That was just massive. And what that does for our fan base, these are the moments that solidify and ingratiate fans to players. Dillon Brooks' performance is what bonds us with players. What Fred, those big shots in close games, this is what bonds you with players. These are the ties that build that relationship between players and fans going forward. And to contrast that, we all love James Harden. James Harden has given us many moments like Fred VanVleet did last night. Pause. But at this moment in time, the type of player James Harden is not the type of player we need for where we are in the context of our franchise. It's Fred. It's Dillon. It's Jeff Green. These are the guys that we need. And Fred is serving that role to a T. To a T. And in the post-game conference, he didn't even say they played good. That man said they took a step back because we didn't blow out the competition. But I love what Coach Udoka said about needing games like this to build character, because when you're beating everybody by 30, you get a little slack, right? You kind of chill out a bit. So this was important for them. But Fred played a hell of a game, instrumental, and he is changing the culture as we speak for everybody on that court. Final takeaways from the game. I'm going to steal a bar from Rockets Hall of Fame head coach Rudy Tomjanovich. Never underestimate the heart of a champion. And in our case, never underestimate the hearts of champions. The Rockets team has infused itself with champions. The franchise has infused champions. Fred VanVleet, champion. Jeff Green, champion. Ime Udoka, champion. The coaching staff have coached in championship games. Dillon Brooks has been in wars. Guys have been in wars, and they are showing their scars for our young guys to see. This is how you survive. This is how you make it in this league. And we are seeing the culture transform in real time in front of our eyes. This is truly special. There have been several teams that have come from the dregs of the NBA and made the transition to being dynasties, to being greatness. You think about the Golden State Warriors, a team that was constantly losing, and then they had their first playoff berth when they went to the first round and lost to Memphis. The vets that they had on that team, David Lee and some of the guys they brought in that were successful players in the NBA that kind of helped them out. It's a step by step. What you see is scrappiness, right? They're a scrappy team. You think about Memphis when they popped off. You think about Phoenix when they popped off. You go from, that's a nice team to, damn, they in the finals? Damn, they in the... It happens just like this in the NBA. And I think the Rockets, what they're doing is real. What they're doing is real because we're not out here blowing teams out. Somebody, once again on Twitter, try to compare the streak the Rockets are having this year to the 7-game winning streak with Garrison Matthews going out of his mind. And you look at the plus minuses and you look at the scores and the percentages from there, the team was shooting something crazy and we were beating teams by marginal points while both teams were scoring in the 120s and 130s. That's not sustainable. The Rockets are holding teams under 100 points in the NBA in the year of our Lord 2023 on a night-to-night basis. That is defense, and that defense is sustainable. Y'all saw the screws get tightened late in that game. That is sustainable. It's sustainable because the players that are playing the defense are good defenders. This is not a fluke. It's not a schematic thing. Dylan Brooks is an elite defender. Fred VanVleet is an elite defender. Alperen Sengun is a good defender. Jalen Green can be a good defender. Jabari needs to be a better defender, but he has his strengths. Tari Eason is still getting his feet under him. He's a good defender. Jeff Green is a good defender. Aaron Holiday is a good defender. Jayshawn Tate is an elite defender. Amen Thompson is a good defender. Our weakness is scoring, but make or miss league. You stop a team from scoring, then they can't beat you, right? You stop a team from scoring, they can't beat you. You just got to make a couple of shots. All of this is sustainable, and the Rockets are transforming the culture with what they're doing, and it's a credit to the players, the veterans we brought in. It's a credit to the coaches, Coach Udoka and his staff, for organizing and structuring and challenging and trusting and doing all these things. And honestly, it's a credit to the front office, too, for taking a step back and letting basketball minds dictate what happens. Trusting basketball minds to dictate what happens. Not dying to go get the James Hardens of the world. Not dying to make moves that are just, oh, let's trade for Russell Westbrook. Splashy. Not following pure analytics as the only method for valuing players, but trusting in the performance and the film and the value of culture. That is what the Rockets are doing. That is what the Rockets are doing. And if they can keep this up, I think they're going to shock the world. I think they're going to shock the world. But y'all let me know, man. This was a hell of a game. I got goosebumps watching that fourth quarter again. I challenge every Rockets fan, man. Go watch that fourth quarter, especially those last 3 or 4 minutes, and watch the little plays that the team did. And y'all let me know, man. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what you see. But let me know in the comments, what was your favorite part of the game? I would say mine was that sequence with Alperen tipped the ball and Fred ended up getting that corner three. That sent chills. That was chills. Let me know in the comments, what was your favorite part of the game? And if you're listening to this podcast at this point, hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you are somebody that wants to be a member of the Chop Shop channel, make sure you can sign up for the memberships. It's going to be in the description of this podcast or this video. We are going to be starting a playback channel, and playback is an app that you can use to be able to watch live games with your favorite content creators. So me and Space are working on that. We'll be rolling that out fairly soon. So you guys look out for that. We'll be doing post-game rewatches. We'll be doing live streams for our members. So if you want to be a member, sign up now. You can watch the game live with us. Watch me and Space break down the game in real time. Chop it up with us. See how I process the game in real time. But y'all already know the saying. Keep rocking with the Chop Shop. Keep rocking with the Rockets, man. The Rockets are balling, but keep rocking with the Chop Shop. We gonna keep dropping that. Fire.
Green from the corner. No good. Sengun took it away from Hawkins and got fouled and made the shot. Down by 2. 60 seconds ago. They turn him over. Here comes Dylan Brooks. Brooks blocked by Zion Williamson. And Jeff Green doesn't take any chances. Just Rockets down by 2. VanVleet for 3. Oh! How about that?
There was no hesitation in the building.
The inbounder. Loops it up to Nance. The catch. And tried to throw it back across to Ryan and threw it away. They say Rockets basketball. Now New Orleans is playing.